Well, my presentation focused primarily on trying to bring in the other presentations into the context of where we are and how proteases can be useful to moving forward and improve digestibility. So I focused a lot on the steps of digestion and how they may be relevant to case studies where we have seen poor protein digestion in the field, and what we can learn from field cases and what we know scientifically and how to put those together. I think we are. We have some areas that I tend to call black boxes that we are defining more clearly. So we're understanding where the areas of lack of knowledge are. And that's going to give us a really good understanding of where to focus our research in order to elucidate or understand better where we go. So we've made huge strides in terms of understanding methodologies to determine protein digestibility in the last 5 years. We've made huge strides in terms of looking at individual ingredients and how the animal digests them in the presence or absence of exogenous proteases, and that's something we had very little 5 years ago. So we are moving in the right direction. We have clearly some areas that need fundamental and basic work to improve our understanding of what are the rate limiting steps, what's going on in certain areas, and that's going to give us some better clarity of how we move forward. I think, and this is just my opinion really, but I believe very firmly that we are moving in the direction of needing more and more enzymes, and proteases will be key for us to move forward in digesting a lot of the new ingredients that are going to come along, which are primarily byproducts that may have poor digestibility overall. I think proteases are going to allow us to actually use what are currently unusable ingredients for poultry or ingredients that are marginally used. So I think that's going to be the strength of proteases as we move into the future, is actually allowing us to use the newer ingredients or byproducts. On the other hand, I think, at least in Europe and now in the US, where we have stronger and stronger environmental regulations, proteases will become key as a tool to decrease nitrogenous emissions. The other area where I think proteases will become key, and this is, again, something that's very, very new. In the last 6 months, 3 new amino acids have come into the market. And we call these amino acids, they've been around for a while in a synthetic form, but they have not been available at a price that is commercially viable. So they are starting to come in, and we see some use, for example, right now more in Brazil than anywhere else. And when companies are starting to use these 3 amino acids, synthetic amino acids, on top of the 3 that we already have, they're starting to see some issues as the protein content in the diet decreases. This suggests that there is a limit in the non-essential amino acids as protein, and we've known this all along, but we didn't know where the cutoff point was. The interesting thing with proteases is that, and it depends on the protease, but in the case of PROACT specifically, we have a large impact on non-essential amino acid digestibility. And I think this pairing up of new synthetic amino acids with a protease that is delivering a greater digestibility on the non-essentials is going to allow us to decrease protein more radically without having negative effects on productivity. there are so many, but and I say there are so many because I ultimately believe that you need to look at proteases in the context of a normal diet as it is used in different areas of the world. And currently we see more and more use of exogenous enzymes other than proteases, together with a protease. So that is a unique area that we're not really exploring very fully right now. We are with proteases because they are our newest enzyme in a sense, or we are really trying to understand what their impact is on digestibility of amino acids from different ingredients, which I think is the right way to go. We need to understand and have a good sense for how to formulate in the presence of proteases. But then we're going to have to have another step, and that is when we put them together with silanases in the case of ingredients that have create viscosity issues, or in the presence of phytases, which most of the world is using right now in poultry diets. What are the implications? Because there will be some synergies and some not challenges between them, but there will be some synergies that are going to make the matrices for them specifically be different than the individual matrices that we're developing currently.